You bring up a great point about villages.
Village.
I love that, it takes a village to raise a child. That is, especially within our community, that's really something. And I feel as though, again, it might be coming back down to the stereotype. I feel as though our community is actually somewhat like a community that focuses more on that than any other community.
Thanks.
When you really think about, case in point, right? My sons used to go to private school in Dallas. Within that private school, it was an all-black private school. Teachers, administration, kids, all black. You walk down the hallway. I knew my son got in trouble before we got to the car because all the teachers checking on him. You gonna get it together tomorrow? You gonna right? And it's because of this. They want to make sure not just me, my wife and I, but everybody has a vested interest in all of these children because it's a village.
It's a village.
How important is that village, do you think, for our continued development, continued growth as a people?
All right, so I'm from the West Side. Both my parents are high school dropouts. My father went to prison. My father ended up dying due to drugs. Who helped me become the man that I am? I ended up in a village. My village was the church. There was a man by the name of Pastor Willie James Campbell who cuffed me after college and taught me everything as far as being a man, how to dress. He was the first one to take me to the store, lay out a suit, match a tie, do all of that. And what is he doing? He's sharpening me and making me comfortable. Certain ways I saw him dress as a quote unquote preacher, I didn't want that.
Yeah.
So but he still allowed me to find out my fit. Village is important. There's a scripture that says this: iron sharpens iron. And we ought to sharpen one another.
Yes. Now, what do you think about villages and communities and the impact that they have, especially within our community?
Yeah, we are more of a collectivist community than other races, for sure. When I think about, you ever heard the joke about, like, people like, do white people got cousins? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they don't say cousin the way we say cousin.
I never thought about that.
Like, there's a particular, who is your cousin? No, like, you don't really hear, oh yeah, my cousin, because to us, a cousin is like, it's almost like your brother or your sister. It's almost like a sibling. We are very united. But again, there's Khalil Gibran, the Prophet, is a book that everybody should read. And in it said, people make the greatest bond due to mutual suffering. Mutual suffering is the greatest bond. That being the case, the black society obviously suffered in a way compared to other societies that is just different, much more of a suffering. And due to our suffering, we have this like, oh, all we got is us. We got to stick together. We got to ride for each other. Nipsey Hussle died. Waves through the community. White people die every day. You know what I'm saying? Nipsey Hussle died, you would have thought it was the Pope.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because again, we look to people like him, especially people who were very active within the community, and we're treating their community like a village. We're looking for that leadership. He was a rare example of what being a man can look like when it's not just spewing poison and all about more and more and mine. He was very community oriented, right? Almost paternal in our community. And so.
Evan, following up on that, right? Being a part of Black Menswear. And we were talking about this last night from a community perspective, right? We have cousins, literal cousins, but we actually have cousins of the brand that every city we go to, they there.
What's up?
They paying their own money, getting their own planes, their own hotel rooms to be there, to be a part of the family, right? So looking at it from that perspective, understanding the value of community and unity, what does that mean to you?
I think it's just that opportunity for us to kind of all build together. Like the reason everybody comes to this and does the flash mobs, tunes in and watches this, is like you want to look for like-minded individuals like yourself. The reason one thing we always say we have the upperly mobile black male, right? Those are the guys, you come, you're talking about the group me. We did a group me in August. We did a flash mob in DC August last year. That group me still got 95 people in there.
Wow.
Still talking Texan because those guys are, they own nonprofits, they own businesses, they might even be club promoters, barbers, but this is a community of guys that I have that are my clientele. One of the things I love when we even do our flash mobs, NeAndre always goes, who in here owns a business? Raise your hand. Everybody, 70% of the guys on here. Who in here works for a nonprofit, runs a nonprofit? 60% of you. Your customers is right here. Your mentors is right here. Your volunteers is right here. You don't need to lead. There's 200 of us. Imagine if you had 200 black men and you got 70 clients. That's enough. That's a big enough business right there. You're going to have a stable business. That's why people kind of come to connect. It's not the suits is what it looks good. That's the social aspect of it. That's what inspires everybody. That's what makes it. The women go crazy over it. But at the end of the day, the reason these guys are coming, shout out Ramel and Carlos, these guys have been to 6 cities. Calling me like, hey, I'm coming. And they're bringing other people because they enjoy the community connectivity that they have so much that they want other people to get involved because they feel the energy, and that's what he was about, because that's that village that we're creating when you actually kind of come and participate.